Hello, adults and children. This is Real World Audio's all-time favorite, I hope so, animated late night program. And please brush your teeth, drink up your favorite drink, and let's get into when do we place the sub in the corner and what we can do about it. So let's just not waste any more words on that. So let's say that this is your room, here is your couch, here are your loudspeakers set up so they are playing radiating sound towards you. And this is the optimal scenario, and you can make the distance of your loudspeakers from the wall and your optimal toe-in and your distance from the back wall in a way to optimize the 3D of the sound. So if you set up this way, you can play around. You will have a specific position for your main speakers where the three-dimensionality of the image will be the best. So basically, if we choose any other spots, then the imaging will start to suffer. Now here comes the problem. So in the vast majority of rooms, the optimal position of 3D imaging is different from the optimal placement for best bass. So you can either find a spot for your speakers where the bass response will be the most optimal, or place them in a spot where the imaging will be the most optimal. But the two can concur only in rooms which were designed acoustically to behave in such a way, and that's not going to happen in a rectangular room. You will need to have basically a horn-shaped room, and or what you would also call, like, for example, if you look at the concert halls are also basically a horn-shaped rooms, and that supports imaging and bass response together, but not a rectangular room. So we want to supplement these speakers with subwoofers. And now, if we place the subwoofers in the corner of the room, then that will give us the maximum amplification of sound by the room. Because whenever you play any loudspeaker in the room or subwoofer, any sound source, then the sound wave is going to propagate, and then it's going to interact with your room, and it's going to bounce back and forth, back and forth. Now, the closer you get to a corner, and not just a corner, but to a room boundary, if you are, let's say, here, you would place the speaker here at the room boundary there, then the sound waves starting from the loudspeaker are directly supported by the room behind it. So they would reach around the loudspeaker and then just bounce up back from the wall behind right away. So it means that it's going to boost the low frequencies to a very, very noticeable level. And now, if we are placing them in the corner here, then both of the walls are going to support the sound wave, so it's going to not just propagate forward as a wavefront starting from your back wall, but as a wavefront guided by the two side walls. So basically it means that the energy of the sound waves is getting more and more concentrated. And now if we place it not just in the corner, but at the bottom, so basically now we are not in half space like this. If you look, like, this is the height of your room, right? And this is at the middle where your loudspeaker is talking. Now we are going to the floor level and we place the subwoofer on the floor. Then the floor is going to aid in the propagation of the sound waves and act as a boundary from which the sound can bounce off. So basically, when you place the subwoofers at the corner in the floor, so one here and one there, that's when we give the maximum room amplification, maximum room boost for the subwoofer. And it can be absolutely tremendous. You can get plus 18 dB. So basically you can top or add an extra 18 dB into the sensitivity of your subwoofer by putting them in the corner. So I would say this is a very easy solution to supplement a really high efficiency loudspeaker with a not so efficient woofer. Just add that not so efficient woofer to the corner, and there you go. We add almost 20 extra dB, so even a mediocre sub will be able to play at a very high efficiency and catch up with those high efficiency guys. Now this is the good thing. Now here comes the bad part. So the bad part is that if as it's placed at the corner of the room, then basically you are getting maximum room boost, which unfortunately means that not every bass frequency will be amplified to a certain degree. But let's go back to our old figure. So once we go below the Schroeder frequency, then actually what's going to happen? So that's the average increase in energy that the Schroeder equation gives us. But that's the total average of the energy predicted. But that's not how it's going to work out. It's going to be a boom here and the dive, boom, dive, and they are going to be almost, I would say, not unpredictable, but they are exactly predicted by the size of your room. But you cannot just make a guess without knowing the exact dimensions of your room and calculating it. The calculations are very complex, but computers can do it very fast. But the problem is that all of these ups and downs, where the sound gains energy and where the sound loses energy, this is specific for every spot in your room. It's going to be different. However, one thing is for sure, that if we place the subwoofers in the corner, then we are maxing out this property of your room. So where there was a tiny boost before, now we are adding plus 18 dB because we are placing it in the corner. So these peaks are going to be just monstrously giant. So whatever problems your room had in the bass department, by placing the subs in the corner, you are going to magnify that problem basically almost 50 times, because that's about that's about the energy that 18 dB or so represents by placing the speakers in the corner, that you are upping the acoustic energy by about 50 times in physical energy, in actual pressure. And now if your room sucked without placing the subs in the corner, if you place them in the corner, so it was boomy even before then, if you do this, it will be crazy boomy after that. So that's why people play around with subwoofer placement. So it's not in the exact corner, but you pull out little bit, pull out that direction, or maybe lift off the floor. So you play around in 3 dimensions to find an optimal zone where you are amplifying the average energy in the house to the maximum possible level for your application, but not playing into increasing the energy of these ungodly peaks. So we want to amplify the energy here at the leakages where the energy is sucked out. And when you can do that, you find a subwoofer placement that fills in these missing regions. That's when you are getting a positive result. So I would say this is the key for subwoofer placement, to find out positions that fill up the gaps. and this is not something that can be done overnight. There's not I cannot give you any quick method for that. The only method to do it is to play around, experience it, use your ears, because your ears are and your brains are much more sophisticated measuring tools than any loudspeaker and microphone and computer system in the world today. Our brain has like a trillion times greater processing power than any silicon toy we have built so far, and all you need is experience to be able to use it. And I would say just play around with your sub, toy around with it, and if you are really off the mark, you can use your microphone and computer assisted system to find that ground zero position again, from which you can start again your journey and play around and rack up experience points. And that's my tale for tonight. I hope it was beneficial for everyone. If you haven't brushed your teeth, please go ahead with your favorite toothpaste. And good night, everyone. And please like, subscribe, tell your friends, because the YouTube bunny or YouTube bear, they are not too keen on advertising baby unknown channels like mine to millions of viewers, because I am not monetized, and my viewership is way too small to bring it to the limelight. So if you have been so lucky to find it and you think that this is good to share, then share it with your friends, because that's the only way I find new viewers, new subscribers, which is totally meaningless for me, because I am just so happy that I have you, my already friends here on the channel, who have been following my videos, commenting on it, giving me feedback, and through the feedback I learn as well. I am not some head honcho guru who already knows everything done with experiencing, and I'm gracefully casting my rays down on the unknown masses. No, I am also on the path just as you are. I probably know a lot more on many subjects than most of you do, but I have found several of you giving me comments on areas where my knowledge is, well, it requires and it can use some addition. So thank you, everyone. Bye bye.